All right, this is a bucket of sadness, but I'm going to show you what we discovered right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Brownstown IN. This here, John Deere 1020, we've been working on. And one thing he told me right away, he said, I wish that those tines weren't bent, and he had a couple broke off. And he said, how do you get them out of there? And I said, well, I don't know. I looked it over and I thought, well, I don't see anything. Normally they're bolted in from the back or something. And so looking at this, I thought, well, maybe somebody re-welded this plate on and that stuff. And I called the company, or not the company, but the dealer who sold these, and he said, yeah, they should be bolted in from the back. Well, we were all wrong on that. Last night, I cut an inspection hole to try to get to the back of one of these tines. I regret that now, because now I got to weld that shut again. But what that did do was allow me to see how they are actually made. And I could see down in there this bar, squared bar laying on there, which engages in this notch. So seeing that, I thought, well, it's got to be on the end. So I looked on the end, and this was totally perfectly flush, well rusted over like this color. Somebody welded this over and ground it smooth, and the patina had, you know, taken over, and I could see nothing there. So I looked at this side, and it had dirt on it, and after I knocked the dirt off, I could see the outline of a square tube. So I thought, okay. So I took the grinder and I started grinding on this side till I could see the outline again. And then I started hammering, and I managed to get this out of there. Then, the tines, oh friends, did they ever put up a struggle. It appears that what he had was, if I remember right, now we'll have to look at the other video. Both end ones were in, and then I think these two were in, and then these two were broke off, like this here. And, but they were loose, you know, so I could kind of, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, the two broken ones pulled right out, amazingly enough. That was actually the one that you can see my inspection hole. This one was the one that was folded. Was it this one or that one? One of them was the one that was folded all the way around into the bucket, kind of like an ingrown toenail. And I had heated it up with the torch. I don't know if I showed that on the last video or not, and managed to get it pried around where it was kind of sticking out straight. And that one came out pretty well instantly right away. There's the mailman bringing me something, maybe good, whatever. So I got that one out, those two out. This one, I don't remember. I think it came out with slight struggle, but I kept hitting it, and I got to thinking there's got to be a way to try to get that out without cutting holes behind each one. So finally I clamped a vice grip on it and was able to get a pry bar in there and put pressure on it, and then just hit it with the hammer, and the vibration helped walk it out, and I pulled it out. The two end ones were a struggle. I did the same trick, but it took it took a lot of effort to try to get those pulled out of there. So I got them finally pulled out, and they were all twisted up and bent up. So I went to town. The dealer I used to work at has a monstrous press that's homemade, and I was able to straighten them out where they're about as good as they could get, you know. So then I went to a welding shop to get some metal, because I knew I was going to need a longer bar, because what I'm going to do is, well, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So while I was there getting that, I was going to just see if they had a piece of material like this, and I was going to cut him 2 new tines. They don't without special ordering it. So what I'm going to do is, he's going to have 2 end tines and 2 middle tines, and I'll put the 2 broken chunks in the other 2 pockets to keep the dirt out, and he can get those made at his leisure or never, whatever he wants to do. But that's what I'm going to do right here. So that seems to me like the cost-effective way, because we're already more than what he wanted to spend on the tractor. But I got everything loose for him, and I'm going to set him up where he can easily get this apart again should he ever decide to do that. And that's going to be with this. This bar is longer, and I'm going to have to cut it. I had it made a lot longer. But essentially what I'm going to do is I am going to struggle probably to put it in there. I know why that is. There we go. There's trash in there. But what I'm thinking is, and I'm sure, like I said, we're gonna fight. I don't know why that's not playing nice, but we'll get it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to drill a hole through this and put a bolt and just stick the bolt up, double nut it or something, and then he can take the one side out and then just drive it through and do whatever. I don't know why it's not wanting to go all the way through now, because the other one pulled out of there just practically by hand. There we go. It might just be a case of the trick piece of metal, you know, maybe it's whatever. But a hole on each end with a bolt sticking up, and have it about like that on each side. I don't think that will interfere with bucket operation, but that will also let you be able to get it back out again without having it welded solid. And that will give him a more useful bucket, because he's going to have at least 4 straight tines. And like I said, I'll have it set up where he can get the new ones made if he wants some, or he can just forget it. It's up to him. But I'm not special ordering a piece of steel and spending time making these, because that may not be what he wants to spend. That'll probably be a couple $100 extra. And so that's that. But I felt like we needed to do some of the stuff that he was upset about, because I know how it is if you get something back and then everything you wanted wasn't fixed. But anyway, I wrapped up a lot of time pulling them out. That was a real struggle, but I think we're going to be fine. So my next order of business is going to be drilling a hole in this. I don't know if I want to wait till the very end to weld that hole shut, or if I want to try to do that. I'll probably wait till the very end. I just don't want to get anything dropped on this rod where it won't come out again. But I don't know. I don't think it should. It's not anywhere near that. You know, it's a good ways away from the back of the plate. It's that far away from, yeah. So that's the back side of that square tube, and so the length of my finger there. So that's far enough away that I don't think it'll get in accidentally welded to anything. But yeah, so I guess what we'll do is I'm going to clean all these up where they go in there, and try to clean out these pockets a little bit, and then we will drill our holes in this rod, try to stick it back through, put the bolts in, and try to give him a useful bucket again. And yeah, so let me get started. I'm going to clean this up. You don't have to watch me grind around on that, but I'll probably just take a angle grinder and give them a quick zip off there. And there's not really a lot I can do for these pockets. You know, I'll spray them out with some cleaner maybe to get some of that trash out of there. But basically, I think a lot of it was just manure and dirt wedged in there. So, sure. All right, that's more better. He's got 4 and 2 nubs. Like I said, he can get them out however he wants. He'll have to clamp a vice grip on them because I tapped them down in there. But the rod slides all the way through, nice and easy. So I would say a 1/4 inch drill bit, and then the drill press, and that'll probably get us what we want. I need to probably also make my marks, and then I could do it in one pass, you know, instead of having to stick it through, measure it, and go again. Just zip her off, drill my holes, and be done with it. Then his bucket is as good as I can make it. but they're all the same, the same plane again, you know. You see that, how nice that is? It's really hard to use one of these buckets when the tines are all over the place. I know, because I got one, and periodically they'll get bent, and I'll have to take them out and press them straight again. So it's a trade-off. If you don't have it, if you harden them, they'll snap, but if you don't harden them, they'll bend. So you got to just live with some stuff. So I'm going to try to get this done and saw it off, and then this bucket will be done. And then really the only thing left on the tractor, what am I waiting on? The knobs for the shifter, maybe, and a gas gauge. I did buy a gas gauge. We're going to slap that in and see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then I guess I'll be sad and probably just end up ordering the sending unit too. But I ordered the one that had the chrome to match this. There was one that came with both pieces, but the gauge was black, and I thought if it's gonna be in there, it ought to match what's there. So I don't know, it's just one of those things. The only other thing then is to just, I haven't done that yet, zip tie everything up to keep it looking nice, you know. So we got to check that out. I see something here though that bothers me. I hope that hose ain't leaking. That's brand new hose. We're gonna have to run that a couple times, I guess, again, and make sure, because if that hose is leaking, then I need to take it back and have them make it not that way. So yeah, but I'm gonna get those holes drilled, and then I'll show you my final result. All right, let's see if this goes how I envision it. Very rarely does anything ever do. So get that all the way through there. Good deal. Let's tighten this right now. Good enough. Let's put that through from there. Maybe. We're going to play the fun game of don't turn by hand, just because I want you to. Probably got some dirt in the threads. Put one on. Maybe. There. Locked together. So that should fix his bucket problem. And I can feel like I did my part to help him. And he's still got homework that he can do if he wants to take it farther. But it's a lot handier to have them spaced something like this than it is to have 3 on one side and none and then one. I've had that too already, where I bent one or broke one and had to keep working, so I just pulled some out and rearranged them so you can dig better when you have them somewhat evenly spaced. So to get these out, it took a whole can of the magical lubricant sent by the viewer, so thank you again, because yeah, that's what it took. I just kept spraying it down in there and let it sit, and then when it came time to get them out, clamp a vice grip where you could get the pry bar behind it and just keep working it out and hammering it, and finally got them pulled out of there. So it is the best it can be with what we got. So now what I got to do to finish this is just weld that hole shut. And the only reason that it needs to be is because of trash. I don't want trash to build up behind it and then make all this stuff not come out again. So yeah, if I had, I wish I had ground around on there to start with, but I didn't even think of that. It was so good, like they had welded it up so good you could not see it. And then the other side was covered with dirt and I couldn't, I don't know. I just live and learn, you know, but figured something out today, you know. I figured there was something holding them back there, but yeah. So whatever, agree or disagree, you know. Sometimes people don't like the way I do stuff, but I got it fixed. So I just need to make my mistake covered up, and then it should be good to go. All right, a grinder and paint. Make me the welder I ain't. I got a little happy with the grinder there. It's got some gouges in it, but that's okay. It's solid, it's plugged up, and we're back to, let's make sure this is still loose. Is that still loose? Hopefully. I think it is. Oh yeah, it's still loose. So that's what we're after. He can do what he wants to do with the bucket tines now, but that rod will be easy to get out, and he might just live with it like that. I don't know. I did the best I could on that, bringing back something that was totally garbage. It really would have been handy. I don't know why they made this bucket this way, but like mine comes to the edge of there, and I would think that that would be more of what you wanted. I don't know why they have it so undercut. You know, I know they make a thing, or a lot of buckets, they made a thing that you could slide over the tines and, you know, have a fill-in plate, but I just think they got quite a lot of space there, and that's probably why his tines bend so easy. But that is neither here nor there. My part of that bucket is done. I did what he wanted, and I might even do this. Let's just paint those. Keep that from rusting right there where I ground into the metal. That'll keep that nice, hopefully. So we're on the downhill slide, and that's good. I ran out of welding gas in the last video, so I got to get some of that for future projects. And yeah, waiting on knobs pretty well now, I think, is the only thing, you know. Knobs, and then do a little bit of zip tying. So I'm gonna call this one here. I don't know if this is interesting, but we got a better bucket than what we had to start with, so that's all that matters. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment, and that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.